Hey guys, welcome back to the Hustling Horsepower channel. Sorry we haven't gotten a video out in the last couple days. It is a lot of work, just me and Lady Gangster trying to get everything done, both on the car to make sure we have a competitive car to go racing with, and the gender reveal and everything else going on. So guys, on the way in, 5:30 in the morning, before the race at JJ's Arm Drop, we stopped at a little at the Walmart parking lot in Pennsylvania, unloaded the Maddy's car, and Maddy went and picked up my grandma. Well, we did the gender reveal and everything like that. Then it was time to bring my grandma back, and it just so happened that we had some dump valve issues at JJ's Arm Drop, causing a little over 30% converter slip. So I decided I was going to take the transmission back down to Extreme Automatics. We were going to remove the dump valve. That was no doing of themselves. It was actually a manufacturer's defect, I guess you could say, in the dump valve solenoid itself. We go through that in the video here. And then my grandma and we got into town a little bit early, so we decided to go drive around looking for deer and get some ice cream at Lake Chautauqua like we used to when I was just a little kid. So we spent some time together, and then she had a little treat for me before I shot off at about 2 o'clock in the morning to make the trip down to Cincinnati, Ohio, to see Lonnie and the guys over at Extreme Automatics and get the transmission all fixed up, so we're ready to race this coming weekend. Like and subscribe to the channel to follow along on the journey. Straight Gangster is on its way to doing some pretty cool stuff. We appreciate you guys, and here comes the video.
It's gonna be what, 40 pounds or so?
It's good size.
40, 45 pounds? They're little babies, I think.
Yeah. Where's the mama?
I don't know. Where's mom or dad? Grandma or grandpa or something?
Somebody should be taking care of it.
They're shaking their tail, so there's maybe more in the woods. Yeah, that front one is baby.
Yeah.
I think it's still got spots on it, I think. It's got to. The one behind it might be a little bit older, but it's small. Where's the other ones?
Yeah.
That puts us up 5?
Huh?
I think we're at 5 right now.
Your window's dirty. You can't tell if I'm seeing a deer or a spot on the window.
That's probably from Rex. Rex's nose.
Yeah. That's cute.
Some horses. We'll see if we can find some more. There's 2 turkeys out there.
Yeah.
You want to go in the field with them?
No.
There'll be 3 turkeys then.
Oh, thanks.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah, I can turn up here. Right.
A brewing company? What's going on in here?
Yeah, what's going on here? Visit somewhere I wanted to come up.
I don't know where did you get us lost?
I probably did. I didn't think.
Okay, we're adventuring. Nothing over there. Struck it out. I hope they close at like 8 o'clock. I hope they didn't close at 7. Those cottages are pretty nice right there.
Yeah.
It looks like most of them redid them up. They all look like...
Yeah,
I remember a few years ago, like they were all like... not all so fresh looking.
Yeah.
Almost all those look like
They're
nice and fresh now. I'd imagine so now.
And the taxes are
Is it crazy?
crazy.
Is the fireworks show and everything still pretty good out here?
Yeah, I don't go by myself. Yeah, they still have them. In the parade where they throw all the candy and the kids go crazy.
Have they gotten cheap with the candy now? I remember we used to come back with like friggin' probably 20 pounds of candy. They used to be pretty what's it called?
Crazy.
Oh, Mamie, look to the left. There's a really little one right there. There's 3 babies right here. Who's that one right there? There's 2 little guys there. Oh, Mammy, he's looking at you. He thinks you look goofy or something.
They're new ones.
That one's smaller than Rex.
Yeah. And he can hardly walk.
Well, Rex can hardly walk too because his feet are crooked.
Aw,
That one's so small. Should I try to catch him?
no,
Why not?
it's scary. That's a mama back there.
That's a mom and a baby. Then another mom and 2 babies.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him coming over.
Aw.
Mammy, these deer are walking towards us. That's not normal. There they go.
Oh, look at that.
That's so cool. Look at them go. Look at them go. Oh, that's cool.
Well, that made you evening.
We got them, ma'am.
Yeah.
We found our deers. Successful.
Yeah.
So I take my grandma out to Boxcar Brownies for ice cream, and she brings out a lobster tail and a steak when we got back to her house. You can't beat that.
Well, guys, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I appreciate everyone that likes and subscribes to it. It is 3:30 in the morning. There's not a soul in sight. It's just a young guy out hustling horsepower on, well, I guess it's a Tuesday morning. So yeah, just trying to do what we can to keep this journey alive. Right now, I'm headed down to Cincinnati, Ohio. We're gonna put this transmission on the dyno. The plan, I think we're gonna take this valve body out of the transmission, swap valve bodies so that dump valve can never be an issue again. It's not the transmission's fault in any way, shape, or form. The dump valve from the manufacturer, like the actual solenoid itself, not even the passages in the transmission or this or that or anything else. It was actually the dump valve, the solenoid itself, malfunctioned. And it's just not worth it in my application to potentially have that deal cost you as much money as it did. Literally in racing, right? A $5 part can cost you $10,000. A $20 part, a $5 part, like a $2 part can cost you everything. And it's not only the winnings that it costs you the fuel money, the entrance money, the everything, like the money to get into the gate, the cost it runs, the amount of money that it costs to run the car, everything, right? You go and we'll generally put 20 to 30 passes on a set of tires, right? If you go through 5 sets of tires, or if you go through 5 passes and something breaks or something like that, and you don't get in the money or nothing like that, well, you just wasted all that time, right? And essentially we just wasted 8 good hits, 8 hits. Then we made 8 hits on the car, and none of them were as fast as they should have been, even in the 60 foot, because it was leaking 24, like the whole freaking time. So we didn't even get good data on the chassis. I mean, we're better off than we were, but not nearly where we should be at this point with having 8 passes on the car. But I knew it wasn't going to hurt the car any more than it was, and there was a lot of people that came out to see the car, so we decided to run it. Man, it was a pretty good time. Now, it was below my standards, and some of you guys say I'm pretty hard on myself, and I guess that's maybe true to a certain point, but at the same time, this is our livelihood. If I don't do my job at 100% or damn close to it, we don't get paid. And right now, we got to step up the rest of the things a little bit to keep this journey going, since we have a little one on the way. So yeah, we got don't get me wrong, we're gonna enjoy the hell out of this journey. We enjoy everything we do, we thoroughly do. And if you saw the little part of the video in the stands, then we put them in the car and stuff like that, that right there is why I'm willing to work 20 hours a day to do this stuff. That right there I don't want to say leaves a legacy, but leaves something behind, right? Like, not to say it this way, but we made some type of impression on that kid. And I don't know if I made a bigger impression on him or he made a bigger impression on us. Like that stuff's cool, right? Like that stuff, it chokes me up a little bit. That's why we do this stuff, right? That's for the love of the sport and the love of drag racing, and we do everything we can to give back to the sport that we love. So guys, I'm gonna try to get some video while we're down there. It's gonna be it should only take about an hour and a half. Check the transmission part, just check everything over, make sure all the clutches and everything are fine. We still had good line pressure and stuff like that, so I don't think anything like that is an issue. Then we'll throw it on his dyno, make sure all the line pressures and converter charge pressures and all that stuff are where they should be, and then I'll probably pick up some spare parts and stuff like that while we're down there, just to make sure that if anything fails, I can rip that sucker apart, make the changes, and be back racing. If we lose on a Friday night, at least maybe we could find something Saturday night to try to run the car and with everything fixed. So that's one of the reasons why I have the big trailer. But at the same time, since we have a little kid on the way, I'm willing to go with a slightly smaller trailer, so then we could have a little bit more living space. Since we have a little tomboy on the way. So guys, if you know of any rear bedroom toter homes for sale, ideally a rear bedroom toter home is slightly smaller than a diesel pusher motorhome, which makes it a little bit more feasible for us. It carries a little bit more fuel, so we could plan out our fuel stops a little bit more and travel a little bit more efficiently, because right now with the toter home that we have, we can go about 1,800 miles on one tank of fuel, and that allows us to go shop our fuel prices and stuff like that, and it's not unlikely for us to fill up for $1 a gallon cheaper by mapping out our fuel stops. So guys, that really all those little things that we do really help make the traveling feasible. But you know what y'all can really do is like and subscribe to the channel and grow this sucker up in the next 4 months, so when that little hustler arrives, we're still able to do our traveling, guys. We appreciate it. Keep on hustling. Well guys, here we are at Extreme Automatics. We're gonna get the transmission. I think first we're gonna throw it on the dyno, just to double check all the pressures and stuff like that. Then we'll disassemble it, fix it, put it back on the dyno, and get everything set up. So we're gonna be here, we'll go see Lonnie. Looks like he's taking care of a couple customers right now, but it's been a long day already. So I'm gonna go get some stuff done, and then we'll get this thing together. Check out one of the pieces I found here. This right here is the Tree Killer trans brake. They use it as their internal trans brake in the car, and I promise you, it is a tree killer. In the Dirty 30, I had 5 000 lights using that internal trans brake, and I promise you, it's a pretty bad, man.
Here they are running one of their CNC machines, cutting out some valve bodies for both the Turbo 400 and the 4L80. In the 400 version, they have the first and second gear leave option, so you can leave with your 248, 148 option in a stock gear set, or you can go like a 210, 180, 180, 140, depending on if you have an aftermarket gear set. And they also have a fully manual 4L80 non-electronic valve body for you guys that want your overdrive systems. So these things have been pretty tried and true. My buddy Mitch Stapleton at Stapleton 42 on YouTube has it in his Escalade, and it's been pretty tried and true. And he tried quite a few different manufacturers before I sent him over to Lonnie. And man, that thing's held up to some pretty abusive situations there in that twin turbo 427 cubic inch Escalade he has.
Make sure the thing's not in there backwards.
So guys, here we are. We're checking out. You can see the shuttle valve right here, and these are all the fluid passages for the transmission. And you can see you have it in there the right way right now.
Yeah, that's the right way.
He's got it in there right now, and you can see that when it's in there, it's completely blocked off. Yeah. But in the other way, when you put it in there backwards,
It keeps leaking.
it creates a leak, an internal leak. Basically causing like 20-30% slippage, just because the dump valve is open, even though it's not supposed to be open. just because that tapered seat was not in there properly. So you can see the tapered seat here, and it's got a flat side here, and you can see that ring right there is what Maddy was talking about in the last video, where the witness mark of the internal valve in there, the little brass valve. But you can see inside here, kind of hard to see, but that's a tapered seat in there, and this tapered seat's supposed to go in there just like that. And instead, when I pulled it apart originally, it was in there like that. So that was basically our main issue right there. But we're gonna get that fixed up, and we're gonna remove this style of valve. It's really, really good, but
It's too aggressive.
it's just too aggressive for the situation and the way I do my tuning on the car. So if you got a small cubic inch motor with a big turbo or this or that, you could definitely use it for spooling, and then you could pulse width modulate it. But with the size motor, the turbo, and our application and the type of stuff that we're doing, we're going to possibly put an external dump valve on it, and then we could change the restrictors and the cooler line right here to play with our converter charge pressure to make sure everything's where it needs to be.
I'll do it.
Alright guys, here we are. We're going to go through and reassemble this converter since we got the transmission fixed. We're going to go through and these right here, you can play with these a little bit on the shim spacing on these. You can put the shims on one side, you can put them on one-on-one. We're just going to go one-on-one, but that shim spacing right there, you can play with the stall on the converter slightly by moving those shim packs around. But we're going to go through here, just put a little bit of pre-lube on this. We're going to put some fluid in this thing before we put it in the transmission, but just as a little bit of precautionary stuff.
So to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what I'm actually doing here is I'm essentially removing all the band-aids that I put in the car to try to combat the issue with the dump valve. I'm taking out my titer stator, swapping all the fluid out, and a couple other little small tips and tricks that I do to try to make up for or tighten up the stator. So we're going back to what we know, so we're ready to go do some racing this coming weekend.
We're going to go back to the old stator. Make sure this is all nice and clean. Good to go. I already checked the bearings before I put it back, but we'll check them again. That's all good. That's all good. So depending on what one we have in there, I'll put the one I swapped to in there, back in there just for a second. Well, I'm not gonna put it back in there, but you'll see that you put this guy in there, it ratchets to the right and pulls to the left, because these fins are biting into the fluid fluid's coming through here, and this is pumping it. But we're gonna put that back to the side here. Putting our old trusty in there. We can play with things. This one's locked out on this one. There's no bearing. Put that sucker back in there. Put a little bit of lube on there. This is transmission assembly lube. Just a little bit of something to keep it from. We're gonna fill it up, but that's all nice and good. Now, if this O-ring doesn't fit, if it's a little bit too large, you can put it in your freezer for a short period of time, in your cooler of ice or whatever. But go through, work it in. You want to wipe off all the extra transmission fluid around the seal and stuff like that, because when you start it up, it's going to throw fluid all over the place. Whatever fluid's inside there, when that thing goes to whatever 6,000, 7,000 RPM, it's going to throw fluid everywhere. So make sure this is all nice and clean. Now they'll all have some markings on them. I usually put, this one's got 1, 2, and 3 on it. I'll put 3 forward, 3 forward. Slide the sucker back together, 3 and 3. Put the dowel hole in the dowel hole. On these guys here, some of these here are threaded on the top and a blind on the bottom. That's so you can put a bolt in here and you can run this up and pop the converter up. But I usually just give the stator, the hub right there, a little bit of a tap. It'll come right out.